I am so glad you convinced me that the family car should be the Defender 110. It is so beautiful inside. It's so comfortable and it just feels indestructible.
Yes, it really is. I've been waiting a long time for the new model to come out. The Defender 110, I'm telling you, it's my favorite car of all times. It's my third one. You know, I have stories of going off road. The guy managed the group. He was like, "What are you doing in this beautiful car?" I'm like, "I'm going off road." He's like, "Are you sure? Because you can use one of ours." And then they look like Mad Max cars. I'm like, no, we're going to do this. And he was shocked.
Wow. Well, it's great because the Defender has been reimagined for 21st century adventure, and its unparalleled off-road ability as well as its robust interior are invaluable whether you're headed towards uncharted territory or just a weekend of exploration. The Defender 110 tackles challenging surroundings with absolute confidence. The SUV conveys strength outside and in, featuring peerless technology like an intuitive driver display and an award-winning infotainment system. That's my favorite part, to keep you connected no matter where the journey takes you. Adventure is unique to everyone, and so is the Defender. Choose from the two-door Defender 90, the four-door Defender 110, or the larger Defender 130 with the ability to seat up to 8 passengers. You'll find uncompromising performance in all three. So pack up and go even further with the Defender 110. Learn more at LandRoverUSA.com/Defender.
Sometimes it takes a different approach to help you unlock your true potential. Capella University's game-changing FlexPath format helps you learn at your own pace and fit earning a degree into your life. From before you enroll to after you graduate, you'll be supported by people who are invested in your success so you can pursue your goals knowing that help is available if you need it. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu.
This isn't your average business podcast, and he's not your average host. This is the James Altucher Show. Today on the James Altucher Show.
Well, you mentioned in the book there was this moment in your life, and you even refer to it as often your top is your bottom.
Yeah.
And so I want to explore that sentence for a second, but you were had been performing, you were on the top of your career, like everybody knew Run D.M.C. You had Rolling Stone magazine coming to see you to interview you for the cover. You had your weed dealer coming to see you, and you had room service coming to see you. They all show up at the same time, and you just broke down.
I was excessive as a kid. Like a lot of people that become very successful that don't know any better. I wanted every piece of the sun in California, I said it in the book, every piece of pleasure that I could find. And people find out early on that these successes that you call success, you could become a glutton towards it. And then you crash and you realize there's more to life than being number one rapper, French toast, weed, girls, Rolls Royces, whatever.
So what do you think it was, though, about that specific moment, right? Because you probably had a lot of these moments. So I'm here with Reverend Joseph Simmons and his wife, Justine Simmons. Rev is also known as Run from Run D.M.C. Welcome to the podcast.
We're happy to be here.
You guys just wrote a beautiful book called Old School Love and Why It Works, about your relationship and marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things that struck me, and by the way, we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk
Good.
about your relationship. We're going to talk about how you met. We're going to talk about Run DMC. We're going to talk about your faith in God and everything.
Okay.
But you guys were celibate for the 2 years before you got married. That's not usually seen anymore. And I would have to say, particularly, you every rap video in the world, not to say you're associated with every rap video in the world, but, it's not about being celibate.
Well, I'm Rev Run. I'm not just Run. I'm Rev Run, and I decided, and I started going to church and worked my way up. I wasn't going to become a reverend, but the rules and regulations of the game was to not have sex till you get married. You may now kiss the bride. I do now. So I was just following what I was supposed to follow because I'm pretty intense about whatever I do, I'm obsessive. So if I'm going to be into God, I just want to know what are the rules and regulations. And one of the rules and regulations was, you have sex after you're married.
And so you started dating, and
We broke up.
yeah, you
For
started
like
dating.
12.
You met when
12
you were like
years.
you were like
Yeah.
15 years
14,
old.
yeah.
She went to a Curtis Blow concert.
Yep.
She wanted to talk to you. You were the DJ. You were DJ Run then for Curtis Blow. You were known also as the son of Curtis Blow,
Yeah.
as sort of like a half joke or whatever. But you were performing with Curtis Blow, who was maybe arguably, I would argue, you were the first mainstream rapper. He was also arguably the first mainstream rapper with Christmas
Rapping
raps.
and-
But you went to one of these Curtis Blow concerts,
Yeah.
saw him. You were like, that's the guy, not the rapper, that the DJ.
Yes.
And you passed your phone number, and you guys started dating. But it was more long distance then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was in Long Island. He was in Queens, so that felt
And we
like
were young, 15. We couldn't really get to
Yeah.
each other, so we kind of drifted.
yeah,
I became Run, created a group that was outside of the Curtis Blow thing. And my cousin was at her sister's school. He was a security,
guard.
and he was bragging. And she's like, so what? That Run's your cousin.
My sister
My
said-
sister used to be with him years ago. And then he called me and said, did you know a girl named Justine? I was like, yeah. And he got the phone number, and boom.
Tell him how you used to think, I wonder if she knows who I
Oh,
am
yeah.
now.
Yeah, once we drifted apart for many years while I became a rap star. And in the back of my mind, I would wonder what that girl that I used to date years ago, does she know that I'm not the son of Curtis Blow, but I'm the guy behind this successful rap group?
but you were also called DJ Run back then, right?
She figured it out through some friends early on. Once the
Yeah, I
first
didn't
record-
know for a while because then I was into house music.
But
so-
you liked the
But
music.
then
You liked rap.
I did like rap, but I'm just saying I wasn't focused like that because I was into house. And then
So a
you
friend-
came on some type of show, big show.
And some friend of hers looked at a picture and said, that's the guy that's, and then she put two and two together.
And then so he told you about it. You said, "Oh, can you get in touch with her, or how do you get in touch with her?"
And then
Yeah.
I went and had the initial phone call and a date, and then
Oh, yep, we did.
she wrote me to church, and
Yep, I went to church, and then
we became,
we went to church 3 times a week.
we were very dedicated, very,
Were you already going to church, Justine?
No,
we were very religious. We were going religiously.
And what I forget what year was this? You got married in 1994.
So we
don't
would,
do years with
wait,
me.
I can do it.
That's good.
So I'm guessing that a few years before we got married, we were in church, and we knew that the best way to follow the perfect instructions was to get married. So that's just get married before you do something dumb. That's not,
Because he gets really intense when
About everything.
so he wanted to do with the
everything
with
I
our
did in
preacher
rap.
did. He didn't touch his wife until
Yeah, everything
know.
that I do
So he
is
wanted to do
very
it.
intense.
He had the biggest Bible,
very obsessive.
this big.
Because I
And he
figured I didn't want to
says-
miss any of the words. I was wrong. They all have the same words, but I bought the biggest Bible I could find. I sat on the front row, and I wanted to know how do you do this thing? How do you do God correctly? To the point where I became a rev. I wasn't there to become a reverend, but
Well,
I was doing very well at following God.
Well, you mentioned in the book that there was this moment in your life, and you even refer to it as often your top is your bottom.
Yeah.
And so I want to explore that sentence for a second. But you were had been performing. You were on the top of your career. Like everybody knew Run D.M.C. You had the Rolling Stone magazine coming to see you to interview you for the cover. You had your weed dealer coming to see you, and you had room service coming to see you. They all show up at the same time, and you just you broke down.
I was excessive as a kid. Like a lot of people that become very successful that don't know any better. I wanted every piece of the sun in California. I said it in the book. Every piece of pleasure that I could find, and it wasn't people find out early on that these successes that you call success, you could become a glutton towards it, and then you crash and you realize there's more to life than being number one rapper, French toast, weed, girls, Rolls Royces, whatever. And you just kind of...
But what do you think
Everybody doesn't have this experience, but reminds me a little bit of the record that The Weeknd has out. It's called I'm Heartless. I listened to it. And I wasn't heartless, but I'm just here listening to all the money and the this and that, and you just get a little lost. You can get lost in success as a young kid that's a rapper that doesn't know any better that a gold chain and lots of money is not going to fill every void.
So what do you think it was, though, about that specific moment, right? Because you probably had a lot of these moments of like excess.
That specific moment was the highest moment of glutton vibe, trying to get it all done. Probably was 86, I don't know the year, but it was just too much. Just too much, and you get to conclude, wait a minute, what more? Is there any higher? I'm the king of rap, and I got all this stuff, and I'm not necessarily extremely happy because I'm going overboard. I'm not cruising with it, cruising.
You said and she said you're a very intense person.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, as opposed to religion and faith and your marriage, did you feel like...
I wasn't married then.
No, but I mean later. But did you feel then that there was, if you were too intense on this, it could get dangerous, as opposed to later on religion and marriage?
It was just an unhappy moment. Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be a happy moment.
And what do you think it was that made you unhappy? Was it just this tipping point?
It's God. It's the void. There's more to life than this.
Why do you think you experience that and other people sometimes or often don't? And they
do.
They get pulled into the excess and drugs and
then they crash, and then they go to yoga, or they become the reverend, or they calm down. You could talk to a lot of stars. Used to be this show years ago on VH1 called Behind the Music, and you'll see that
some of them don't.
Yeah, well, Run D.M.C, me and Daryl, we don't do drugs anymore. Neither does Aerosmith. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Think about it. Steven Tyler, they don't get high like they used to. Not the same kids they were. Run D.M.C, D and me used to drink every day, I smoke every day. I don't smoke anything. D doesn't drink anything. Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, they don't get high either. You stop. Things change. You have to, unless you're gonna die, you're gonna kill yourself. If you don't, those that survive know that they can't continue on this path of excess.
Right, and Daryl for a while was continuing on that path a little longer.
I don't know if it was longer than me. No, I think it was around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Same time. Me and Daryl. Yeah, we were going to church with me too for a little while.
Wow.
Yeah, just I think it's not just me. I'm just intense, so this collar's wrapped around my neck. I'm not having it.
So Justine, when you met him,
I can't sit up. You think I'm gonna look crazy on camera? I've been trying to. This couch is a little whatever.
Okay.
Can this couch be fixed?
No, it's all right.
No,
She's
we're
worrying
fine.
if I'm looking okay.
No, you guys look fine.
Okay.
And Justine, when the second time around when you met him and you started getting closer, were you ever worried that he would slip back into that lifestyle?
No, not at all. He he brought me into church, and he was so focused. I knew there was no slipping. 3 times a week, and then we would take the kids, and they had to go. Even school nights, it was real, and we would get out of there sometime at 10:30 with our kids. They got to go home and go to bed and get up early in the morning. But
it was a real change.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys both talk a lot in the book about how defeat or hardship are almost blessings of a sort, in that they lead to perseverance and an opportunity to challenge your faith and so on. And in your marriage, I often ask people, what's the secret of a long marriage? And usually the guy will say, I give 90%, she gives 10%. But then
wait.
they'll joke around. Then they'll joke around and they'll say both of us do. So both sides give 90-10. And how do you what would you say is some of your worst moments that were really that really tried your?
I would say this to the question that overall what you're asking, you to have a good marriage, it's going to take two people that don't need to win an argument, that don't need to, that's number one, but that want to please each other.
Right.
I don't want to see her upset. She don't want to see me upset. She's
So we go out our way
we're eagerly trying to give in
to try to
to
make
each other.
it
She's
work.
eagerly trying to give in to what she knows I want.
Yeah.
I'm eagerly trying. This takes two people though. I'm eagerly trying to make sure she okay with what I just said. So if you're on the lookout for someone who is discontent or bothered or angry, and you want to fix that immediately, but it takes two people to feel that way.
Yeah.
So she doesn't leave me upset. I don't leave her upset. And that's it. That's why we're here.
And we work at that, and if something does bother me or bother,
I'll
we
make a
fix
U-turn and
it.
she'll tell me. I don't even know how often she have to say, I already told you that. If she does, she knows I'm going to be kind and sincere enough to really adjust. But then she's not going to push me
Right.
to something that she thinks I'm never going to adjust to.
Right.
If she says, all right, he doesn't want it, or it's whatever. There's no, what is it called? Mexican standoffs in our home.
Right. And also we also like now, we didn't in the beginning, but if we argue, which we do all the time, the littlest
That's
things, but
fine.
we do. We don't hold it long, because the more you can hold it, or the more days you can hold it, the next time, the more days you can hold it even more.
The Bible says, do not let the sun go down on your wrath. So that can kind of
And
like
people
seep
think
in
it's
overnight.
cliche, but it's not.
That's a scripture.
No, it is. But people use it like, oh, don't go to bed mad. But it's
That's real.
true, because the more you can do that, the more you'll do it.
I see.
And then the next day, it stays in.
It just gets worse and worse and worse.
So how do you? It's almost like exercising a muscle. Like how do you?
Yeah.
How do you practice?
We constantly talk. We constantly talk about what's anger and what's making us angry. If something is making us angry, we talk about it and we deal with it. We deal with it right there.
I kind of feel like I don't know, man. With us, it's not, again, I said, we're on the lookout for unhappiness and discontent. So it really, and I'm not sure that every couple can feel this way. She doesn't want me to be upset, period. I don't want her to be upset. So you got two people just fighting to not make each other upset.
Yeah.
And
Literally.
you're also on the lookout for each other's happiness. Like all
Oh my
throughout
God.
the book,
Yeah.
there's
That's
ways
it.
in which you surprise each other and
Yeah.
She
are
said to me
romantic with
yesterday,
each
you're
other.
very grumpy. I had a rough day.
Why'd you have a rough day?
It's just too much going on. A lot of stuff that's going on with the book, and I got a lot on my plate coming up. A lot of good stuff. But I have to attack everything because I'm so intense that everything has to be in a certain order. And I have to straighten out whether it's, I won't
And if
say
something
employees.
if something has to take a few days
Let
to
me-
get straight, he hates
So I'm hectic.
it. So that
So she
he's
said-
hectic until it gets done.
But you don't know if you remember the moment in the kitchen where I was like, she's like, did you see the way you just, I was like, and I told her. She noticed that I was very grumpy and intense and bothered. And she was with my daughter, and I remember I was sitting, and I looked at her and I told her the reason, and I felt her understanding. Oh, this isn't just because you're a grumpy man. This is completely because you were in the living room and got an email about this, and this, and I'm asking you something, and you're not prepared to talk to me about anything because you are
Consumed
hurt,
with all that
bothered, consumed. So she let me off the hook immediately, but she wasn't really mad. She said, "Look at you. Why are you so?" And I was wise enough to let her know. I let her know each thing I was dealing with. and it was over.
Sort of like there was a scene in the book where you were upset about something. You were launching a project that was yours personally. You didn't want to necessarily get his feedback right away, and you sensed that, and you decided, okay, I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna take a ride.
Right.
And then
She finally
called,
came to me and said, "You can come with me. Would you come with me to print out my project?" And I did.
Yeah.
That's
Which
it.
he could have said no.
No, but I was on
I'm
the edge of my
saying,
seat. Yeah.
in another
If I could have been mad at you,
couple-
never let me in, right? Yeah, I was happy.
Could have went.
You're dealing with, again, I don't know how many more times we could say it. It's just people that
give and
want to
take.
look out for each other.
We purchased a few years back a sculpture from Tola, and
artist
it's
called
called
Tola.
Give and Take.
And it's like
a
rocking when
chair.
they're holding something in there.
And there's a
We
person
put
in
it
the
on our
front
anniversary in Hawaii.
and a person in the back, and it's one is pulling and the other one is pulling. And it's a give and take in relationships, and that's where a lot of times they go wrong. Like, say, if we're gonna go out to dinner, if it's always his way or
If it's
her
Mexican
way,
or whatever, it's like,
you gotta.
if I'm driving towards where I want to eat, and I think that she might not be. I say, "You sure you?" It's just like that. I can say, "You sure?" She's like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." Or, but usually, see, it's funny. She won't break down and fight what I'm trying to eat. I was trying to say that maybe she'll change it. She won't.
I do.
Well, sometimes, but not often.
Do you ever find yourself repressing what you want because
Yeah.
you know
All
he's so
day.
intense and
Me?
yeah.
Oh, she represses her life. Her whole life is repressed into being my wife. But but then people that know us and love us say, "Yeah, but Rev, you're at the airport when she lands with the greeter, and you're going to carry her to the car with the umbrella." Like, so there's so much of that that goes along with her.
My makeup artist and my hairstylist, they care about what he thinks than me.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot. And that's why we're here with this book, because it's a lot to do, but it works. Selfless, not selfish.
So let me ask that in the context of often people meet the wrong person, right? And you even mentioned how somebody could be in relationships and you know when you're in a toxic relationship, you feel like you're less than you are and so on. How do you know? So hard for people to find the right person. Obviously,
It's
you
hard.
two
You'll be
have
blessed.
found the right person.
We're blessed.
And you're 26 years later, you're madly attracted to each other. You do things for each other. You don't take each other for granted. But a lot of people don't know how to find or what's the checklist you use or what's that feeling you're supposed to
Red
feel.
flags all day long. You'll see.
A lot of people
This
have
isn't
red
working.
flags.
They're not giving like me, and phone buzzing. They're not giving like me. I don't like this. They're not. And then you just got to know that this isn't the right person.
Yeah.
Period.
There's red flags where people
All
want
day.
to not look at them. They don't want to pay attention to them. Okay, he'll fix it. Or when we get married, he'll. Don't do that. When you get married, it's really on.
Yeah, because then also now he was bringing 3 kids into the marriage. Then you had 3 more kids. One's adopted, and that's complicated. It's complicated to have 6 children.
Well,
blended
Wasn't
family.
complicated because of her.
Wait, believe it or not, I didn't even want to have kids. Not because when I got with him, I just
It wasn't a part of her
growing
thing.
up. I didn't take care of nobody's kids, none of that. And then I met his kids. I fell in love with them. I didn't fall in love with them because I had to. I fell in I felt like they were mine after a while. Like I had to check myself. It was just so real. And that's why in my book, I have to explain to people because it makes me upset when people, they get into these relationships and say the woman or the man doesn't like or treat that child with respect like it's theirs, and that parent lets them do it. It hurts my heart so much because when these people grow up, they say, well, my stepfather or my stepmom treated me. It's always a story. It's always a bad story. And so I'm like, if your significant other that you want to marry or you want to be with is not treating your children correctly, you should not be in that relationship. It's not fair. They didn't ask for that. So at least you can pay attention. And so my children that we had together, they know that his children, his first three, they were here first. They were, my kids wasn't here
So
first.
she doesn't go so much
I
by
don't go
blood
by
and all
blood.
that. She goes
I
by
go by
character.
Character and
Period.
Yeah. Always
Character of
have.
every child. Nobody's favorite. Whose favorite it is, who's most carries themselves and conducts themselves with love, integrity, and all the good things that make people. And if you're selfish, you get the raft of Justine. Period.
And how, well, what's
whatever
that
human
like?
being it is.
Like, how do you with your kids? How do you
Simple.
set boundaries, and when do you set a boundary?
To me, I feel like he's the softest to me toward our kids.
I'm very understanding.
Like I wouldn't have let our kids go to LA if it was like up to me. He did.
No, but that wasn't a bad
that
thing.
shocked me.
He's
No, I didn't
saying,
say it
how do
was
you set
bad.
boundaries?
Yeah, I
But
know.
if they do if they want something, or if they argue for it, or if they do something you don't like.
I set, the Bible says, train a child as they should, which way they should go. When they get older, they won't depart from it. I stick with that.
What does that mean?
Let me
Okay, tell him.
train a child as the way they should go. And when they get older, they will not depart from it. Why?
He's
I'm
saying,
getting,
what does
I'm
that
getting ready to
mean?
go.
Okay, hurry
It's like
up.
you're in it and not letting me explain.
Sorry, because I'm ready to go.
You don't get, no.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
But-
Let's go. Like, go ahead.
So what it means is, if you conduct yourself a certain way and set up a model and act a certain way and carry yourself with integrity, that in the end, no matter what they go through, they're going to come back to what they were taught. So I notice with my children that no matter what they've been through from the time we finished our years of church and watching me be married and watching the
Run's
way,
house.
I conduct myself, I notice they're all coming back to it. My son just got married. He acts just like me. He went through a lot before he got there, but he's spitting image of father, husband, he's doing it right. And I was saying throughout the time, we wasn't quite there. The scripture stands. I said it in my heart, and I told a couple people, and it happened. It's probably just set in stone that you might want to, the Bible also says when you're a child, you do childish things. And when you get older, you start doing grown-up things. So you give a kid a chance to be a kid. Puppies act one way and then dogs act different. So life, give a child. I don't expect nobody to be exactly what I am at 40 years old. I'm 55. But he's 17. He's 18. He's 19. He's getting drunk in college or whatever, he's doing kiddie stuff. Drink it too many times, throw up too many times, put your face on a cold toilet bowl too many times, you just say, okay, I'm done. Hopefully. Hopefully. Along with the teaching. Hopefully. But
Let
along with the
everybody
teaching
move on.
too. That's it.
Yeah.
So, my wife and I, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary,
Yay.
and we got married just 8 weeks after our first date.
I love it.
Wow.
So, and
love it.
and we have a blended family. She brought 3 kids in. I brought 2 kids.
That's awesome.
And they're all around the same age, so they
Oh,
get
really?
along. But 1 year in, and
That's
everything's
big.
going great. But 26 years, if you were to give like advice, we obviously wanted to keep going 26,
That's
50
right,
years.
Right.
What would you say?
Everything we said. She and you have to be on the lookout and have such a soft, kind heart that you care about him and you care about her and you let all selfishness go and you be very in tune and very giving.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, again, it's going to take 2 people, because if you
Yeah.
become that to her and then she's not that to you, now you're being abused. So again, I'm lucky that I'm giving to her and she's not going to hurt me. And she's giving to me all. And I'm not going to, we're not going to hurt each other. So if you guys are those people, which I assume you are, then you'll stick your lip out every once in a while. I want my way. And if you see that's crushing him or vice versa, then you're just like, I don't really want this thing this way so bad that I think it's unfair to you.
And do you think
That's the answer.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think we both would agree with that. And
That's it.
but I think a lot of times people get into relationships. I've been in relationships where the maybe one side would be giving,
There we go.
and I don't want to make accusations,
Yeah.
right?
No,
But one
just
side
go-
would be giving, the other side wouldn't be, and it's hard to A, realize that, and B, it's hard then to, you kind of want to change the other person.
Yeah.
But I don't think people really change so quickly.
No, and you don't, and you're not going to change if you really don't want to, and you got to really love that person
I
to
grumble
want to
and
change.
walk away from her all the time.
Yeah.
If she's doing something and I think that I don't like, I hope she doesn't hear it. I'll walk down the steps and say something. I was like, "Oh, that wasn't nice," but I won't say it too. Come on, Just. If I'm grumbling
Wait a
about
minute.
something,
You say stuff like under your breath, like she get me sick.
just like anything else.
I
That ain't-
don't do that. I want to
Well,
know what is it.
well,
like
I'm
some
going
of the
to
things.
say it.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to say it. If you're doing something that I don't like,
Right,
and I'm up to here with
right.
whatever
right.
that
I've
thing
seen you
is,
there. Uh-huh.
I'm not going to stare in your face and say something like, that was wrong. That's all. Something, but then I'll catch myself and say, well, that was mean. Even though I didn't even say it to you, I catch it in my mind. And
I
that's
just
it.
want to know, like, what is it? Like, what do you say? Like,
I'll say, and that's a very good question.
yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy. Why would something
Does it,
to
you
express
say
my
something
anger?
like, she get me sick?
No,
or
I don't have to say. I
she-
don't have to say she gets me. I'll say that action,
Oh,
Ah,
not me.
that's a
not
good
that
distinction.
person.
That's good.
That action. So I'm not calling you a name or per se Justine.
The
I'm going to say that thing
situation.
that she's doing is not up to the standard of the way I feel at this moment.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter because I said it within my heart. I
know.
caught myself. I'm trying to say I caught myself. And it's like, whatever. And then I let it go. It's nothing. It's nothing big. You're not doing anything
Yeah.
besides for screaming at me for taking out the garbage or something. And it's just the human in me.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
No, I said the
Well,
human
what-
in me. I want to hear it from him.
Well, when's a time when you admitted, when you realized you were wrong and admitted it? When's a time that's happened?
All
A
the
lot of
time.
with her.
time.
I
A lot of
always
time.
admit it.
He always admitted because to me, I feel I'm the fairest person almost in the world.
Man, whatever.
Really?
Go ahead. It's whatever.
When she's wait, I want to
No,
hear.
wait a
whatever.
minute. I want to hear. Wait.
I want to hear when
What
you
do you
haven't been
wanna
fair.
hear?
I like when people say it about her. I don't like her hearing her say it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I don't want to hear you say it because people call you the nicest person in the world and fair. And then when you take credit for it, I'm like, whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whatever.
But what do you feel about that? Is it true?
No, I think that she's as far as fair, yeah, you're very fair, and as far as kind, tell you, come on, babe. I know we're not going to be comedy.
Okay.
I like this better than most
Why?
because most of the time we're really funny and kind. But I'm enjoying the depth of this and the intensity.
Okay, but I don't
because
like
we play
you
a
being
lot
so.
when we're on like we was just on Rachel Ray and stuff like that, we have fun.
But that's what I'm used to.
Well, I'm
So you're freaking me out
I'm
now.
enjoying giving these answers right now. And the question you asked me was what? Because she wanted to play just now. What did you just ask me?
When have you admitted that you were wrong?
All day long.
He does.
I admit all day long. I enjoy knowing I'm saying I made a mistake. I don't. It doesn't bother me. I fix it. I love to fix myself. I love to know when I'm. That's why I said I'll
And
even
see,
catch
I'm
myself.
not wrong, so I don't really have to say it a lot, huh?
Wait a minute. I'm confused what you just did. You're still playing. I can see.
Okay. No, I'm not playing. I'm
Yeah,
serious,
you are.
man.
So go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I love these clothes. Mizzen and Main. That's Mizzen and Main. It really is the most comfortable work clothes. Travel clothes. I had to travel this whole week. I'm traveling for a week and a half, and I just took Mizzen and Main clothes with me. Close out 2023 in style with comfortable, breathable, packable, and machine washable pieces from Mizzen and Main. As you wrap up your year-end goals, enjoy a Mizzen and Main dress shirt that you can wear confidently. I like that they've very, very just nice, solid colors. I don't really like to get all fancy in patterns and everything, although they do have some pattern shirts, but very comfortable clothes, stretchable pants. It's just super comfortable, but they look professional and you can wear them casually or professionally. I like some of their flannel shirts or untuck shirts. I love untuck. I never tuck in. So again, whether you're shopping for a special someone or giving yourself the gift you really want, I just buy myself gifts. Mizzen and Main is the perfect gift for any guy who works, travels, and or cares about looking and feeling great. As you could tell by my many photos across the internet, I care about looking fantastic. I'm practically a model. And let's be honest, every guy loves to look great. So again, shop now at mizzenandmain.com and save 20% when you spend $130 or more using promo code James. That's promo code James at Mizzen and Main, Mizzen and Main.com.
These days, we're all investors, trying to be smart with our money despite our worst impulses. But at iShares, we believe that deep down inside of every investor is a better investor. One that's just waiting to be let out. Explore iShares ETFs and insights and let your best investor out. Visit iShares.com for more information.
You know what I love about fantasy sports is that even though I'm not going to be a great basketball player or a baseball player or a football player or whatever, I feel like I get to participate and make decisions and use my knowledge of these different leagues or these different sports to compete. So it's like I can pick my team or I can pick my favorite players and I could use my knowledge to make predictions and maybe even make money. So with the basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League on Prize Picks. This is a league created specifically for combo projections that include two or more players from different sports or leagues. Want to play alongside some of Prize Picks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz, who's also been a guest on this podcast, and I've been a guest on his? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries for some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. Look, Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. What? So, I love playing it. I love anywhere where I can use analytical ability with my interests to demonstrate some skill and maybe make some money. And I like the game-like aspect. I do wish they had chess as a category on prizepicks.com, but I'll settle for what they've got. Maybe I should make my own fantasy chess league. But in any case, I love Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/James. Use code James for a first deposit match up to $100. That's the easiest $100 you're ever going to make. So that's prizepicks.com/James and use code James. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
So your question, see, she keeps throwing me off because she wants to play now.
Hey.
I'm intense. What was your question?
Yeah,
Did I answer it?
But I think though sometimes I could see it that you could be so intense that
I am
maybe
a
you're
very
not
intense
going to
person.
admit you're wrong. Maybe you're going to you're going to drive a little too far down some highway.
No.
Oh, no, he
Okay.
will do it.
Okay, let
He
me
will do that, but then back up. He will
With
drive
her.
it to the wrong way, but then he'll back up and say sorry, or you understand?
But
Yeah.
I'm not intense towards her. I might be intense on stage. I might be intense as a teacher, business, whatever, but I'm not intense towards her. There's many people in this world, but with her, she has a heart.
Wait, are you intense?
No,
you're not intense to me.
All right, you
But
got
I guess
your
you're around me, so you feel that like our daughter, everyone else just lets him be that person.
But she doesn't understand.
But
I
this
have a lot
last
on
one,
me.
she's not.
Yeah, she's not happy because my daughter, the one that we talk about, the Miley, is because during the day I'm not as playful as I could be because I have a lot of emails and a lot going on, so I'm not as playful as I could be. So she doesn't
And her
understand
whole
that
thing
energy.
is, why do we have to feel his energy?
Because you're in the
deep?
house.
She's 12.
I'm walking like the Reverend during the day, for real.
And everything is.
But it's
you know,
also because I don't want to
and that.
lose. It's just tight. Life is tough, and I'm trying to organize it that we can have a good life. And I can't sometimes distinguish. I looked at a video it was so beautiful on the internet the other day. The dad came home and he was dancing, and the kids started dancing with him, and they hugged him. He was the sweetest father ever. And I was like, this is what Miley wants from me, my daughter. And I was like, I'm not this guy. This guy just came home and started doing all the new dances and all this stuff. I can do it at certain times, but most of the time, I got a lot on my plate.
I don't think most kids want their dad to dance.
Don't.
Period.
But he was being
You're
fun.
right.
He was
'Cause
coming
I
home.
tried
They were
to.
going, Daddy. It was some fun. They were young. They were very
But
little
you
too.
are right.
They were only
if
7.
If I try to dance, she gets mad. She's like, please, Mom. Please.
Yeah, but I know what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
But these were 7, 8-year-olds, and and Miley doesn't understand the energy that I have to deal with, and I'm a little bit I get stressed.
But you are trying. He's trying to fix it. See
I'm
what I
stressed
mean? Like
sometimes.
that's what's good about him.
But most
when there's a
people in my
problem.
world understand me, and she's just one that just wish I was softer sometimes.
Well, it's an interesting thing because let's take your first career for a second. You blazed to the top of rap / hip hop in a way that, you personally redefined the culture. Like hip hop went mainstream because of you. And then you become this reverend, which is very intense. I'm sure it occupies a lot of your thinking and time. Then you both have, Run's House. A 6-season reality show is no joke. To have more than one season of any show is amazing. You did 6 seasons. And so it requires that kind of intensity from both of you.
Yeah.
And I think it's natural that your kids are not going to be as intense as that because it's rare to begin with.
Yeah.
And, everybody's different.
Right.
And B, it's just, not everybody inherits intensity. And also they didn't grow up like you, right? You grew up in
That's
a harder
true.
situation than they're growing up.
That's
Right.
true.
So I wonder how you keep a little bit of that intensity with the next generation.
Well, my kids are pretty intense. Angela's the complete entrepreneurial beast. Diggy's, all my kids are pretty intense. They're pretty strong, and they have the energy to succeed. But I was just talking about this one. Miley doesn't appreciate my energy sometimes.
And she
Well, she's
will
the youngest.
say
She's
it.
going through something,
Yeah,
right?
of course. She's at that age.
Yeah.
She's 12, and they're always going to be mad at somebody, the father, the mother, or whatever. You don't
I don't
understand.
believe that.
Well, whatever. They wasn't like Miley at 12 and 11 either, but it
No,
is
they
what it
didn't act
is.
like that. Yeah.
It is what it is. She loves me. I know that.
What makes him think that? And I'm asking this to Justine. What makes him think that Miley might have some doubts about him?
She shows it. Like she shows as soon as he starts talking, like if everybody's talking about a conversation, then he comes in and then starts talking about his life.
Business, whatever.
She'll just get up and she'll just walk away. Like
Well, it's
I'm not
clear
going to
she's
sit
not
here and listen
dealing
to
with this
it.
crap.
Although in the book you do say don't always talk about your life.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you often find yourself taking a step back from
Yeah,
that?
he does.
I work
And a
on-
lot of
work on
times,
it today.
her and I will be talking, and he would just come in and start saying whatever.
Change the subject.
And that really
It's rude.
rude, and it is rude. But no one would ever say
Like
that's
they're
rude.
talking, I got to tell you something that happened.
And me and her
that's
could have been into something,
something
and then
deep.
he'll come in and say.
And I want her attention immediately. And
And
it's
so
like
she brought that to my attention because I would normally go straight to him.
Right.
because I'm used to it.
Yep.
And she fixed it now to when he does it, I'm just like, I got to give him the eye. Like, what are you doing?
Do you see what's going on
And
here?
he's just like, oh, okay.
He's going up the
just
steps
go.
instead of
I'll talk to you later, he
they're
says.
in the kitchen, and I keep going up the steps.
Yeah.
Now, and it's interesting because talking about your kids, because you and your siblings grew up in an interesting household. Your dad was an activist, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have memories of him, going off to march with Martin Luther King and
Stuff like that.
Yeah, and he helped you with the lyrics on
Proud to be black.
Proud to be black and
30 Days, a bunch of songs.
So
movies.
it sounds like he was an intense person as well.
I don't know if he was intense. My dad was. Yeah, he was.
And he exposed you to a lot of ideas.
He's very strong, poetic, comedic. He's everything. I guess all my traits. Comedic, me. Poetic, he gave that to me. Intense, I got that from him. He's pretty intense. Strong, great dresser, just on point, responsible, diplomatic, all that. Yep, pretty much.
And so when
I think he might be a little. I don't know if he's a little less intense. He'd get up and be tough and loving.
I don't think
he might have been a little bit more loving, more hugging than me. I
think he's also more confrontational than you.
My dad?
Yeah, because he,
yeah.
you would never have.
I slip around everything.
Politics
stuff.
I
slip around everything.
He likes.
I let everybody
peace.
get away with whatever they want, but I'm always going to get what I want in some weird way. In the long run, I give long leashes from here to the moon, but actually I'm in control, even though you think you're in control.
Now with your kids, when he gives a long leash and you want to give a short leash, like you're not going to LA. Like, is that ever a conflict?
Yeah, it is, but I have to be real about it. Like the LA thing, that was a great thing for them. I let him do it, but I was shocked. I thought he would never do it. So when they asked me, "You think Daddy let us go?" I was like, "Ask him." It didn't bother me. But I didn't think he was going to say yeah.
It didn't bother me one bit.
Mm-hmm. He's.
But do you ever feel though that maybe the kids they grow up in, again, more comfortable situation than you guys grew up with? Do you ever feel like you need to put that short leash on and you disagree with him strongly on it if he is doesn't have as tight boundaries as you have?
Yeah, if it has a lot of times with our son Diggy sometime, but
you kind of fold into what I'm thinking a little bit.
Sometimes, yeah, I do. Most of the times, because we kind of
on
the same page.
She'll catch herself, whatever.
Yeah,
we're both kind of cool.
One other thing you have to be careful of, and a lady said this to me. I didn't even know her, and we were in the store looking at shoes, and she just said to me, "Are you married?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "You have kids?" I said, "No." And she said, "I have stepchildren." And she said, "Well, you have to remember," she said, "it was you and him first, and then the kids come." So I was like, okay. And then she said, what happens is, as a nurturer, a mother, you just want to take care of these kids and you forget about him.
Mm.
You don't mean to, but they become your life. And then years go by and you kind of forgot about him. Now they're gone. They're out. They're leaving. And then you and him are like a new couple. You don't even know him. He doesn't know you. And she said that's what happened with her and her husband. They weren't angry at each other, but they just was like, okay, I guess this is it.
They're like different people.
Different people, yeah. And she said her daughter ended up moving so far away from her. And it's like amazing because you could put all your eggs in these kids and they're going to do what they're going to do, Like I can't believe Diggy, he's doing a show on Grownish and decided he's going to just live in LA now.
I'm happy for him.
I'm happy too.
What was that face a little bit?
She's saying she misses him.
Yeah.
She's happy for me. He wasn't happy at home.
But you were able now you're keeping the you with that advice. It's good advice that lady gave you because now you're keeping the relationship strong with all you have
and
6
we don't
kids.
let them think they can get in between us. They know that.
She hangs with Miley quite a bit. I get a little jealous, but if I call her, she'll come. But it's a little annoying right now.
Okay, that's because
she needs you. She's adopted. And she needs you.
What happens is when you're adopted, for some reason, you feel lonely.
Mm.
It's in them. I've heard of it from a lot of them, her teacher. And so she needs extra.
All day. I give into it. I'm fine with it, but then I get
He
bothered.
gets it.
I get it, but I get lonely myself because she gives so much attention.
I think I do have to. I have to fix that.
Yeah, it's been a lot lately, but I'll whatever.
Yeah.
But think about also like when you were a kid, think of the immense freedoms you had. Like you're off 14 years old
I
performing
know.
late at night in Queens, Bronx,
Yeah.
wherever, with Curtis Blow starting your thing.
Mhm.
Your parents probably weren't all over you or
I was just a different time period.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was cool.
So can I ask what was that like at the time? Like that must have been
To go to a show at 15?
No, just the idea that this movement was happening that you clearly saw was gonna. You probably had this sense this is gonna change society, and you were at the forefront of it.
None of that. I just loved it.
You didn't feel like you were
No,
gonna
I got the
change?
answer.
No, I said you didn't feel like this is going to be the big thing. You thought it could end at any time?
No, none of that. The answer. The answer is I was fascinated by music, Frankie Crocker, voices, DJing, stuff. I wanted to do it. Found that I could do it pretty good. Like playing basketball competitively. I could scratch. I'm learning how to, I can rhyme. This is fun. This is great. This is fun. I can be great at it. I can be greater. I can be really good. And I got big ideas for drums. The drum on Listen to a Perfect Beat by Bambaataa. I always remember, beat this, boom, 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 boom. I was like, wow, wouldn't it be cool if the whole record had a beat that big? What are we waiting for? Those were things that went through my mind. You listen to it and you want to do it. It wasn't about what you said. Wow, this can be big, or no, this could be great, but not, this is going to affect you. I didn't know where you was in Queens. I didn't know it was a big vision, really big, but a small amount of people I was trying to reach. Meaning, if I could just get this record on 92 KTU, if I could just get this record on Mr. Magic, that's it. Not if I could reach the whole world and have people in Japan wearing Adidas. I couldn't see that because but the amount, that concentrated thing that I wanted to reach was everybody. Because everybody was interested after I did what I did. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I did it, but I wasn't thinking about Japan. I was thinking about what I could see. WBLS, KTU, the people I could see. And it was reaching you and other people and MTV and all that stuff. They were watching that genre too, and I took over that thing that was this big. I did good with this. And this was being watched by everybody almost, or getting ready to be.
Right, because let's say...
Getting ready to be watched by everybody.
Let's say like Curtis Blow and Sugar
I
Hill
definitely
Gang.
wasn't aiming for you.
Right.
Wherever you was in Queens.
But you did.
But I wasn't aiming for you.
Well,
Russell and them might have been trying to get me to Danceteria or wherever you would go to clubs or whatever you would do.
But he always
But I was looking to impress
people that say,
I was looking to impress the dude on the corner close to me. And I definitely wasn't thinking I was going to reach the guy, forget you, in Japan.
Right.
That doesn't even speak English.
But it's interesting though, because let's say, there was Africa Bambaataa, there was that kind
a couple people before me, yes.
Yeah, there was that generation where it was very focused, I think, on who was listening to them right there at where they were
Right,
performing.
they were trying to kill it right there in the Bronx.
And then I would say the next generation, Curtis Blow, Sugar Hill Gang, they had raps that they were probably a little more mainstream to try to get to a slightly broader audience. And then I feel like you came along and however it was produced.
Made it a little more street and not trying to be,
you were the beginning of like, let's call it reality rap or something.
I know what you mean, cooler. I got what you're saying. You're saying that Sylvia and them over at Sugar Hill Records were trying to commercialize it and I was trying to keep it street. Basically, they were wearing certain outfits, and we would wear the street outfits. That was intentional. Keep it the way it is. And the Beasties were smart enough to say, "We're not going to dress like you. We don't care if our sneakers are dirty because we're just punk rock kids." So you just figure out in your own smart brain that I don't need to dress like Grandmaster Flash and them trying to dress like Rick James. They were trying to dress like Rick James or wherever, something else, thinking that it needed to be shined up. And we knew some people, that producers and people around me, and we dressed like the guys right on our corner, and that was it.
And then, then there's the other innovation, which is that, combining, making a rap version of Walk This Way, that's what really kind of catapulted everything into huge mainstream. And
But that was just, we rapped over beats, and Rick Rubin said, just do the whole thing over. Like, all right, I don't really want to do that, but whatever. We really don't want to hear the rest of that stuff that they're saying. They're like, no, make the whole thing over. I was like, this is not a good idea at all. That's the truth.
What were
That's
you
why he
supposed to be
tells
just rapping
people
over
to
the
be
beat.
open.
We were supposed to be just rapping over the beginning beat and a little bit of the guitar. Whatever happens after that little bit of guitar and that beat is it's bad to get to that part of the record. Your DJ has made a grave mistake if you hear anything beyond that beat. So the DJ lets it get to Steven Tyler's voice. It's a disaster. The DJ keeps the beat, because if it does, I gotta rap over him singing. So there's a problem right there off the top. I can't rap while he's singing. You get it?
Yeah.
So we never wanted to get to that. I'm just trying to rap over the beat. That's pretty awesome.
And then
Make sense?
Yeah, but then of course,
Oh, no, then Rick Rubin says, no, do the whole record. I'm like, what the hell is he saying? I never heard it in my life. What's this hillbilly gibberish? Like, you love them, not need to go. What the hell's going on?
were you
Okay.
surprised when it became?
I had enough hits on the album that, surprised. The first tour, we didn't do it. The Raising Hell tour, I didn't do Walk This Way, but I realized that, oh shit, we're at 3 million records, so we must have passed some part of my vision. Because
Wow.
we used to selling 1 million. Oh shoot, you're at 1.8. What's going on? Oh, they're playing Walk This Way in Boston. Huh? What? The record company's doing another thing. They're promoting that record I didn't know about. That's what happened in my mind. They're promoting that record I didn't care too much about.
But it was a record that kind of drew in the
No, it's
mainstream.
everything to me now. But I'm saying I made it. I agreed. I did my job. Wasn't my main focus, but I was smart enough to do it. I did it with my heart. And I didn't know it was going to capture everyone. I didn't even want or know to capture. I just wanted to make sure I stayed at the top of making sure Peter Piper and My Adidas was big.
Yeah, and My Adidas, of course,
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, because that brought mainstream brands. Like Adidas did a deal with you. It was like
I
the
coulda-
first branding
Could have been
deal.
screaming My Heinz Ketchup for like My Heinz Ketchup. It just happened to be big. Oh snap! I'm promoting a brand. That's my joke all the time. I'm happy about ketchup. I'm a rap about ketchup. I'm happy about sneakers. I'm a rap about sneakers.
And then of course do you feel like later generations took what you started, and so you have like Public Enemy was kind of right after you, and then you have West Coast stuff with
Do I
De La Soul.
think I never had to think what somebody else is getting out of it. I didn't. That wasn't like I'll listen to somebody like you or somebody else tell me, you influenced this, you influenced that. I don't know if people that were doing what they did knew. You don't know who you're influencing till it's done, and it's like, oh snap! You run into somebody like Ice Cube. Man, I was home listening to Run D.M.C. and that's how I got that. Wow, really? Okay. It's not, I guess, of any consequence or anything I was aiming for. If that did I answer the question?
Yeah, but I'm also curious if it, particularly then you became a reverend and you wanted to start taking what you were learning, what was happening to you in life, into your music. Do you me and rap was going this other direction, kind of that NWA direction of a lot more hardcore.
Yep, we were hard. They were harder.
Yeah, and which was a natural progression. And there's the
It
Wu
just
Tang
was
Clan.
hard.
And
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I loved it.
did you ever kind of feel like, oh my gosh, maybe I'll never. You can never tell, but will
Ever get that hard?
Yeah, or will you ever get back to that, number 4 spot at Billboard for a song, or
No, I never thought like that. I never was like, how do I be as rough as Ice Cube and like talking about gangs and that wasn't my focus. I wasn't focused on can I beat something? Can I rap? Would I change my style to try to become more than what I've done? Was not in my mind. I probably got inspired by Tretch rhyming fast or things going around and what was in my wheelhouse or whatever, but not trying to think that I could possibly be. Anyway, Run D.M.C. is pretty hard. Like
Yeah.
there was nothing. I didn't need to be harder.
And you're still selling albums.
No, but that wasn't it. I wasn't going to try to reach outside of what I was, which was as hard as you could get, basically.
Well, what music do you see him listening to now?
Sade
every
Yeah?
second, every
Wow.
minute.
and Kenny G.
Yeah, you
So I
mentioned
listen
Kenny
to-
G in the book.
That's all I listen to.
Yeah.
What
That's it.
would you like rap now at all?
Yeah, I like Drake.
Yeah, I like Drake.
Drake's great. He sings and stuff. I like some of the great stuff. Roddy Ricch. I'm not an underground guy. I turn on the radio, and if something's really catchy and good from a new artist, I'm in. But I'm not going to look underground to try to find a hit rapper. If you have a number one hit on Power 105 or the urban stations here in New York, and I get into my car and it's on and it's great, I'm like, wow, this sounds great. That's me.
So the
But
next
I don't put that
He
on all
likes
day
all the
long.
new school and all that, but he mainly listens to Sade.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm calm. I need peace.
do you ever listen to your old stuff in the house? Like, or do you hate listening to your old stuff?
My answer to that: do I listen to my old stuff in the house? No, I perform it quite a bit if I'm DJing or if I do a Run D.M.C. show or 2 or 3 in the year. It's fun to do, but
It's
I don't come
amazing,
home and
though.
listen to it. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. What's amazing? What did you?
His show.
Yeah.
His show with Run DMC and his show with his DJ Ruckus. It's the most hour of intense. It's amazing. And at one time I wasn't even going because it was making me too intense. I was just
In what way?
making, want to make sure it goes right.
If it's an hour long,
Just too
I'm
much.
going crazy for 1 hour till you are tired of jumping up and down. I'm tired.
And I always wanted it
You're
to be
tired.
right. I want to make sure, and
She's
he
as
used to
intense
laugh.
as me.
He used to laugh because he's like, how many years I've been doing this, and then I come along and I'm going to help something. What the heck?
Well, before the podcast started, you were making a joke. You said you were a rapper.
She's an
and he
artist. No,
I
that's-
was.
called
I
you
could,
on that right away.
I could give you a mean 16 if you want.
No.
Okay, let me give you some. So we were called the Fly Five.
Oh, Jesus.
You see the just give me a beat. You ready? Let's do this, guys.
How much time we have for the next interview? I'm joking.
You ready? Let's do it. You see the J is for the jumping in my body, making me do the freak-a-lesh, scream and have a party. The E is for the extraordinary sound while I'm rapping on the mic while the record go round. The double S is there because I'm so sweet. I'm with Fly Five and I'm a top freak. And last of all is the capital Y because I'm a fly rapper and that's no lie.
That was awesome. You got that was great. You got
Thank
to
you.
perform at this concert.
She does that rhyme all the time.
Oh my
Tell him that on
gosh,
his Instagram. Yo, make her album. He playing.
that is awesome.
I'm telling you. I could go on tour. I can open up.
Yeah, why do you let her
DMC.
open up?
It's been a long day.
Well, I do want to say though, the book "Old School Love and Why It Works" by the both of you is co-authoring. It's a great book. It gave me a lot of ideas in my own
Oh, good.
blossoming marriage and relationship.
Well, she is gorgeous.
Thank you. It's very
I
important.
wish you guys
Yes.
the best of luck.
Yeah, we do. We do.
And you guys are so lucky. I mean, how was it working together? You must have. I mean, I could see how you could maybe banter a little bit while working
Yeah.
together.
Oh yeah, but yeah, we do. We can't help it. No matter
Yeah,
where we
fun.
go, people are just like, I feel like I'm in Run's house. Even in the supermarket, it's-
This was a little different than how it usually goes because we're just sitting down. But if you catch us on some of these TV shows, it's going to be quite funny and informative. Less funny here, but still was
He was
good.
This
kinda
was informative,
subdued.
and I had some fun moments. I had
good.
fun,
Well, she
and I
kicked
learned.
the rhyme, so
Well, what's next? What's the next thing? This book's coming out. You're gonna push that, and then
I got some surprises. You gotta wait. You'll see it.
Yeah,
It'll
you
be
will.
all over the place. You're gonna see some stuff.
And
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Is it music related? Is
Music related.
Yeah.
Stuff's getting ready to happen. Well, Run D.M.C. has a line of clothing coming with Adidas again. So
Okay,
new
great.
sneakers, new
Old
clothing.
SKUs
Yep.
from back in the
Stuff
day.
that you possibly wore and stuff like that. So we just did a deal with Adidas.
Wow. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks
you know,
for having us. We heard that
Rev
your
and Justine.
podcast is very big. So
Thank you so much. And
bless you.
Actually, I have one religious question I'd like to ask.
Good, sure.
How do you interpret the phrase "ask and you shall receive"? How do both of you interpret
I
it?
got the answer to that is it's imagination. You know, you're asking through your imagination. You're asking, and then you receive it because you've imagined it to be true. So your subconscious and your conscious mind are doing a little dance, and you see it, and it manifests.
You have to really see it. Like
Get
you
the
got to get the
vibe with it.
fulfillment.
That
You
was
have
good.
to feel it.
Yeah,
And that's how a lot of these
Powerful
people become
manifester, like
to
you
where
are.
they are.
you're a manifester.
Well, look who's sitting in the couch of my apartment.
Well, that's
So,
the answer.
Thank you for that, and thank you again so much for coming on the
Thank you
podcast.
for having
Thank you
us.
for having
We'll
us.
come
It's a great
anytime.
book, really wise book.
Thank
And
you.
anybody in a relationship or not in a relationship should read it.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We
I had a
appreciate
great
that.
time.
I did
Thank
too.
you so much.
Thank you.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power, so how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/advance. That's oracle.com/advance. oracle.com/advance.